Hello, everyone. Welcome to the commentary for the latest episode of Death Battle. This is Iron Fist vs. Poe. I'm Ben. I am the voice of Wiz, joined by, you know him. You maybe love him. He's Chad.
Maybe love him. Ow. Hi.
Okay.
I mean, let's be real. It's Boomstick. Everybody loves Boomstick.
Damn right.
Wiz is the one that
someone
everybody's
please.
kinda like,
I'm gonna
"Yeah,
clip.
What a weirdo.
I'm gonna clip that. All right. I'm gonna have that forever. You all heard it. That's out there. We're not gonna restart the
Perfect.
intro for a third time. Ben definitely didn't fuck up the first one. I'm sorry. What am I talking about?
No, of course I didn't. What are you talking about? No. And we're joined by animation director Luis Cruz.
Yeah, what's up,
who led
everybody?
This animation. It's the animator.
It's me.
Yep. And also joined by a researcher and the writer. So first we got Grand, researcher on this episode. Hey, Grand.
Hello, it's me.
First time on a commentary, I believe.
Yes.
So awesome to have you. Grand has been researching Death Battle for, holy shit, how many years now? Quite a while.
It's been 2 years at this point, yeah.
Just 2 years? It feels like it's longer. Maybe the pandemic has made things feel way longer.
Yeah. Pandemic time. Double it.
Yeah,
Nothing
that's true.
compared to my superior, though.
So Grand has been with us for 12 years. And then we also have Lousy, who wrote this. Hey, Lousy.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I might have been here for a little bit longer than Grand. Not to brag. Just approaching a decade now.
Yeah. I was about to say, dude, you've been
Oh,
here
God,
since
I'm
the
getting old.
beginning, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of the original
The fan blog.
fan blog. Then joining the
Those were the
volunteer
days.
research team, then the hired research team, and now you're a writer.
And now I'm getting
Which
paid,
is awesome.
which is extra awesome.
Yeah, but what is this? Is this the third episode you've written?
I wrote Gray versus Esteth, Danny versus Jake, Lee versus Sanji, and now this.
I was like.
Oh
so
wait, no, also Doom. How did I forget Doom versus
Fifth
Lex? That one's my favorite.
I always forget that too. No. Liam's first episode, whatever.
I also got so scared you were gonna accidentally like drop a future episode.
Yeah, no, Hank Hill versus Shrek. That's happening,
Oh
guys.
God damn it.
Oh, no.
Now we gotta
But we did
restart.
get the best person
Boy,
to
I'll
write
tell
it.
you what.
Literally the lousiest person. I'm sure you get that joke all the time. It's great. Anyway, although I don't think we've ever made that joke before in all 10 years that we've, 8, whatever years that we worked together. Anyway, Iron Fist versus Poe. This episode is one that, speaking of, the research team, when we were like gathering together and talking about this this season, this is one that kind of came up like as sort of I wasn't really sure how people might feel about this, but literally everybody was on board with it as soon as it came up. I love
What's
it.
funny about that is that the way it's set up is like you guys give like this list of like matches I would do, and we go like, yeah, that sounds great, maybe not that. And then at the end you're like, okay, so now we're gonna open up the floor to you guys, and you called on me first, and I didn't expect it, so I was like, I want Poe versus Iron Fist, yeah. Like this came up pretty much just on a whim, and I was amazed it actually went through.
It is something we've talked about before and has definitely come up before. But it's such a potential for a joke matchup that like I don't think a lot of people would take it seriously, and yet it is such a cool matchup. Like when you really start pairing them against each other, they got so much to work with.
Yeah, when I was writing this, that was one thing I kind of wanted to emphasize. Like, but Poe and Iron Fist, they have their goofy bits. Like, Poe is, of course, a huge goofball, and Iron Fist is a dude in green spandex doing kung fu. But they also have their serious moments, and that's kind of something I was hoping to balance when writing this out, to, like, get that cheesy, like, kung fu action in, but also, talk about, yeah, their parents both got killed by wolves, and that's pretty serious.
Also, one of them may or may not have fought a giant dick demon. But
Oh gosh,
that was-
I'm so happy that got included. I honestly was not expecting that to stay in the script.
We've had a couple moments like that in commentaries where writers been like, man, I wrote this thing and I was expecting Ben to just say no, and then it just came through anyway.
Yeah.
I always feel bad.
I'm not sure what to think about that.
I always feel bad when I hear comments like that from our writers, because it's like Ben and I have such a weird situation. with this show because we've been doing it for so long that like both of us will just on the fly just like rewrite a line or something, and like when we just operate with complete autonomy. So I always feel bad.
Not all that often.
No, I know, but
especially like lately, as the team has really like gotten more and more in sync with the show, I've noticed that happens less and less. We still do plenty of improv, especially in like the animated scenes.
Yeah.
That tends to be when a lot of that happens. But you know, I've noticed that lately it's the just going off the cuff thing has happened less and less, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's more additive.
It means everybody knows what they're doing, basically.
Yeah, it's more additive, but we have that power, Ben. That's what I'm recognizing, and I feel, and I'm sorry if there was ever a line you were attached to, and I changed it.
In this episode,
we did kind of skip past Iron Fist with all our shenanigans, but Iron Fist, like compared to Poe, like he had like a TV series that came out a little while ago.
That no one liked.
He's got a lot less, a lot less fanfare going on for him. But it was interesting learning about him, I think, because
yeah, definitely.
He's got
Iron Fist has
weird
his charm.
backstory.
Yeah.
With Kunlun and like his mom dying by wolves. Like, what the hell? What happened there? But it was pretty cool to see come together. But of course, I think everybody's gonna come to this episode to see what we do with our chubby little panda boy here.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Because like we've done Marvel characters, we know how that works in Death Battle. But Poe, well, okay, Gran, do you want to talk a little bit about like looking into Poe and comparing him with Iron Fist and whatnot?
Yeah. So the way that I started research on this was obviously I'd seen the 3 movies, and then you kind of go into the TV shows is what I think is going to be surprising a lot of people with this, because he's done some like wild stuff in those.
It's always the TV shows, man.
It's always the TV shows, yeah. And it's like really interesting because I remember this specifically came up in the calls as we're like going through the abilities. We're like, wow, Poe is kind of, spoilers for later, but Poe is kind of like the perfect counter to everything that Iron Fist has. Like, pretty much like every ability they have, like, interacts with each other in some way. And it's like really interesting because you don't often get to see that.
Yeah, that's something that I do find happens every so often in Death Battle, and people like respond with, "Oh, this was such an imbalanced matchup. Why did you pick this?" But I'm very curious to see what reactions to this are, because I don't think anybody's going to be expecting that to be the case at all with this matchup.
Yeah.
And also, but also, as far as
sure.
popularity goes, I feel like people will be wanting to see Poe win this anyway, so that'll be a nice bonus. I don't think anyone's like gonna be like, Iron Fist is my favorite.
There
Especially
was definitely like we just saw that fight with Tai Lung. There was definitely like as we were going through Poe's research and talking about how the fight would go, more and more I just kind of realized like it's sort of like the Tai Lung fight in a way. Obviously, Iron Fist is not an asshole like Tai Lung was, but he's not an evil man. But like, I kept seeing in my head like that's kind of how the fight would work. Like Tai Lung / Iron Fist would be showing him up in skill, but eventually Poe's just gonna get a few really good hits in, because at the end of the day, he's indestructible in comparison, at least to a certain extent.
Yeah, if you factor in chi and all that, it was pretty interesting to look into. I do like it when you can go into something, when I have the ability to talk about something more than this character has more tons of TNT on their stats than this character.
Right.
I can go, oh, they could actually counter this ability or this weird thing because they've resisted it before, or they have a workaround because, like Poe, he can get rid of he can ignore the pressure points because he's fat.
Yeah, amazing, because that literally happens in his show.
Yeah,
or in his movie, like in the very first movie.
Yeah.
It's wild how it's almost like the writers of Kung Fu Panda were like, how do we make Poe better than Iron Fist?
I would say that. And I mean, there were also some counters for that Iron Fist had, like he could portal his way out of the spirit world theoretically.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe that
had
comes
this
up in the
book.
fight a bit.
Yeah, in the analysis.
One of my favorite things that came up during the analysis was the question of whether or not Poe could even die at all, because he can go back
to the
and
spirit
forth
realm.
from what is
Yeah.
essentially the afterlife. Like we don't really cover it in the script because it's not really important. but like when we show like Uguay, right? That's the turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tortoise. He goes to
Yeah.
the spirit realm, and it's questionable whether or not like he died conventionally or whatever. But there are other characters who like Shen killed in the second movie, and in the third movie, their souls appear in Kai's belt. So it's like, oh, this is straight up the afterlife. When you die, you go here. So if Poe died, could he just go back? Like, just decide, nah, I don't want to be dead anymore, and then go back to the world of the living?
Yep.
Yeah.
Side note,
crazy
I'm
that, like-
incredibly
obviously-
happy the full Poe quote got in. Like with the,
Yeah.
see
Yeah,
the giant
I-
dragon?
Love
I was
it.
hoping for that too.
Luis,
Yes.
let's talk about this animation and what you,
It is
Zach, and Gus
business.
have done here.
We what can I say about this? Especially, I think the one thing I really liked about this fight is the sprites that we ended up using specifically for Poe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did those come about?
Those were custom made by our sprite, one of our new sprite artists named Freddy. He started
Looks so
working on
good.
these. Yeah, they look so good. They started working on these like pretty early on in the year, and we gave him like a time frame, whatever. And then by the time it was like time to deliver them, we got these amazing sprites, and we were like super happy with them. And like it allowed us to make like a really cool fight because we had a lot of different options basically. I don't think we talk about like how we do sprites before, but like one thing that we try to do, especially when it comes to like this kind of rig animation, we try to have like different poses for him so that we can kind of play around with and stuff like that. So we have our regular.
Poses?
Ah,
God dang it.
God damn
I
it.
like you.
Hey, thank you.
So yeah, we have like
like
you know
it
the
too.
regular like just standing still kind of like poses and stuff like that, and then we go into like kicks and punches and jumps and all this stuff that kind of allows us to make all these like crazy like animations happen.
Can I just say real quick? I love the little belly kind of jiggle
Yep.
that you guys got in
Yeah,
sprites.
yeah, that's like
I was actually so impressed by that.
the cool thing about that is that we have those base sprites, but we sometimes do go in and like add our own kind of flavors to it to kind of like give it more detail and like animate specific parts, like that belly animation that was done by Zach, which as everybody know, he is really good at what he does. So yeah.
Poe looks humongous there. I love that. Like this is where you get to see the difference in their size. Like,
Yeah.
Because he's a freaking bear.
exactly.
Yeah. And
He really is.
Yeah.
the crazy thing
I
is,
love it.
my gosh, this
Get it.
freaking like sky dome area was like was a pain in the ass to make, but I think it turned out pretty well.
Oh, it looks
Yeah, that
great.
was great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Spirit Realm, this all was built by you, correct?
Yeah. Everything, like all the stage stuff when it comes to Unreal, it's kind of we have pre-made assets and stuff like that, and then we kind of use that to create the stages that we need for our fights. This one in particular just turned out to be a lot more work than it needed to be because because there's islands floating around the entire place, so we had
Oh,
to make
dude.
sure that like there's like just floating islands everywhere.
Look at that. Dude, that hand drawing was so cool. Who did that?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Really
Whatever we
cool.
get at the time.
Who drew that scene?
That was Zach. Like it's
Hell
all
yeah.
the
Yeah.
almost all the hand
it.
drawn the hand drawn stuff was made by Zach and
did some
John.
of the
Yeah,
hand-drawn stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
Zach and John did some of the hand-drawn stuff. Zach did the dragons. John did the skeleton Iron Fist. Also, Philip did such a fantastic job with the sound design. Like something
Right.
we really wanted to capture, and also this was in Lousie's writing. Like, was make sure that like even though like Iron Fist is a serious character, he's still like a fun comic book character. So we can totally lean into the silliness of a Kung Fu Panda fight. And so at the end of the day, it was almost like it was a fight that could fit into a Kung Fu Panda story.
Yeah.
Outside of the fact that he murders him at the end,
I mean, Poe's
but-
done that a few times before.
Oh,
But the sound design was specifically like about capturing that sort of feel, making sure we still have that, that Marvel, especially on MVC, because
Right.
Iron Fist is in that kind of feel for him, but keeping that like lighthearted, like silly tone, even some ridiculous comic sound effects and whatnot. Philip did such a good job, and Aaron's music.
gosh.
Oh my god, I love it so
Oh,
much.
yeah.
It's such a good mix of like all these like Chinese tones and like the wackiness of Poe and the like intensity of like these dragons fighting each other. It's freaking phenomenal.
And we don't do that very often either, where we have like music that kind of goes along with what's happening in the animation. You know what I mean? Like different instruments happening and kind of like going with the dialogue, going with the action and stuff. And I think Aaron did an amazing job with that, just capturing
Well,
that.
I mean, we do,
Kung
but
Fu
it's
Panda
more
stuff.
so that Aaron had to like focus on making sure we hit the comedic beats.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not necessarily something we always do or we always have in a death battle, because you know you look at something like Blake versus Mikasa, and there's a couple like funny moments where like Mikasa's like, she's got 4 years.
Yeah.
She's got 4
I
times
love
the
that
fury.
line.
Like, you know, there's moments like that, but for the most part, it's a pretty serious, you know, who's gonna murder who first fight. But in Poe versus Iron Fist, we gotta have some environmental hazards and some silly. Like Poe's got to fall down some stairs
Yeah.
at some point, right? Like that's gotta happen.
Yeah,
That was one of
Lousy
the
and
first
I,
things
we-
I wanted to include in the fight script. I was also really happy that we got the staff fight in, simply because I thought it helped mix it up. And for like when I first presented one of the first drafts, I was thinking, this seems like it's a bit too long, so I'm gonna take that out to include some other stuff. And then Luis suggested, "Oh, hey, how about we do a staff?" And I was like thinking, "Oh, well, let me just go back to the first draft I
was
did.
like, well, I already
discard
wrote it."
First. I already wrote
great.
that."
Already got that.
Well, I mean, like
Yeah,
it just felt right when the round that they were fighting and just like really cool. And just in general, just having a fight where the characters are just kind of having fun while fighting, it's always fun to do. So
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great being able to capture that. I hope I captured that well enough at least.
Absolutely.
yeah,
I
I
think
think so.
And man, our voice actors too did a fantastic job. Austin Lee Matthews is basically just Jack Black. Everybody who's been listening to him thinks he's Jack Black. It's great. Anyway,
I forgot.
next
Star
episode.
versus Steven is next. Hell yeah.
Yeah, another episode
Steven
I'm working
versus
on.
Star. This episode is gonna be oh my god, I can't wait for you guys to see it. It
Bonkers.
is wild.
a little
Yeah,
weird,
Luis's team has been
little
working on it
wild.
as well. Yep, exactly.
Have a good
You combine like Steven's shenanigans with Star's crazy spells. Lots of stuff is about to happen.
This one's
all right.
and this one's been asked for forever.
Yes, this is a long time request. Long
Oh
time.
yeah, those shows came out in like what 2013, 14. It's
Yeah,
been
so
a
let's
while.
watch two of the most incredibly wholesome, amazing characters fight to the death.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sure
happening.
no one will be mad.
Well,
In 2 weeks. Thank you all for joining us. Chad, Luis, Grand, Lousy, thank you for joining me on this wonderful commentary. I had a blast. And I hope we enlightened someone watching.
And if you're
on
watching,
how we
thank
do
you for
things
coming
again.
on this journey with us.
Yes. Yes, I'm sure it was.
very enlightening.
Nailed it. Way to
Like
go.
Poe's own
Yeah,
journey.
yeah.
All right, end it before
All
we
right.
keep rambling.
We'll,
Thanks for watching.
we'll see you in the next commentary. Bye-bye.